It's like inaction isn't even inaction. We are always taking action. It's action against your priorities versus action towards your priorities. Which of them will help you accomplish what you want?
Mm-hmm.
I listen to a motherfucker who's like this, man. What's wrong, man? I'm fucking tired, dude. Why are you tired? Because tomorrow, I gotta do the fucking shit again, man. Whatever the shit is that made me fucking nauseous and sick to my stomach, it made me hurt. There's no ending.
Imagine that you were going up against you, but with a mustache.
Yeah.
It's you versus a mustache, and this version of you is doing everything that they can to beat you. They know all of your failures, they know all of your shortcomings and your fears. What would that person do? Just do that.
It's like, I think I get up in the morning and there's like this narrow path, and on either side it's just like whoosh, down to no productivity, nothing useful in life. And one side is drama, other people's drama.
Yeah.
And the other side is just numbing out.
Yeah.
And you got to walk this really narrow path.
You have the ability to do things that you don't know how. You don't know how to do them. So what do you do if you don't know how to do them? You figure it out. All of us are born the same way, dumb, naked, and speechless. You can learn.
So yes, you can change who the fuck you are today in your brain, but it's going to be a fragile decision, okay? What you live in currently, no matter if it's good or bad, was created by a past version of you.
And nobody gets fit overnight, nobody gets fat overnight.
Exactly. And so you can't submit. You can't submit. You have to get in there and keep it going. And I know the results of not doing the thing are not good. And I enjoy doing the thing, so in order to keep doing the thing, you got to do the thing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, F everybody? Everybody, you train them and they leave and start their own business. What do I have to say? Make the opportunity better. Make the environment better. Make the climate better where people work better together.
It's so important. With anything trauma related and in trauma healing, we have to start small and safe. Otherwise, we're gonna shock our nervous system.
Yeah, the entry point for me addressing my avoidance was behavioral. Like, I was like, okay, I'm behaving in an avoidant way. I don't want to behave that way anymore. And so that's where I started. And it did lead to like, oh, this actually isn't so bad.
No, enjoy, but bring others along with you. It's not me versus you, it's me with you, and enjoy the game. We're gonna take this headset off anyway, so let's do this thing together.
I found myself starting to go, oh, I can sleep fine too. That's that part where I was like, you don't sleep fine if you half-ass that situation, or if you did that person wrong and can get away with it.
Right.
I think it's hard to make a change in your life, you know?
Very hard. Very hard to make a change in how you see life.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're not going to change your life unless you change the way you see life.
Yeah.
You know? Like if you're in a cage fight and you elbow someone in the face, it's not because you're a bad person.
You have to. That's your job.
That's the game we're playing.
If you don't do it, you're letting yourself down.
Yeah.
You got to go in and fight. Yeah.
You know, give me what you got, even if you don't think it's good enough. Even if you think it's a stupid idea, even if you think give me what you got. The power of that, I saw over and over at NASA. It's not just one type of mind, not just one person that's going to solve the problem.
How many times have you said, once I do this, I deserve rest? Once I do this, then I'll allow myself to take a break. Rest isn't a reward. Rest is a requirement.
Like, we knew, like, if you were to talk to another man or cross a line with another man, there's going to be physical repercussions.
It's a possibility.
And that's a great thing because it creates respect. Mm-hmm. So you understand and you evaluate which things are important enough to take an issue with versus what's not.
If you're somebody that goes to work every day and says like, I don't want to be at this desk, there's something out there that is more for me than this, then you already have the bug. Then it just becomes, do you die with the bug or do you do something about it before you die?
Are you still trying to aim for a goalpost that's no longer there? Right. Because you can see how if you're looking at a goalpost that's no longer there, you're not going to find joy. You're not going to find meaning. You're not going to find all the things that you deserve in your life if you keep moving in that direction.
But we're just seeing their highlights. We're just seeing the bits and pieces they give us. And then we're trying to keep up with it and model ourselves after it. And we don't know the cost. We don't know the price they're paying. We don't know the lack of peace they have or the lack of sleep they have. We don't know what their family life is like, but we're trying to match it. And it's costing us in ways that we have never anticipated.
You are your human. Your job, no one else out of the 8 billion people on this earth, no one else has the job of taking care of the human that is you. No one. It's your job.
Like if you are on a transformational journey that's like effective, you're never going to end up where you think you want to go. You're always going to end up someplace far better than that.
As the cognitive scientist Daniel Willingham says, you may think your brain is made for thinking, but it's actually made for preventing you from having to think whenever possible. It wants to be lazy. And so if you have tons of options, you will just go down total freedom. You'll just go down what's called the path of least resistance. You'll do something you've seen before or that's easy or convenient. If that's blocked, that's the only time you can start being creative.
You have to continue to show up if you're going to play this longevity game, right? Because stopping is the fastest way to slow your body.
So let's talk about your standards. Most people have 2 sets of standards, the ones they talk about and then the ones they actually live by when nobody's watching. When you're busy, moving fast, and hungry, those standards get negotiated down. You grab whatever is closest and you tell yourself it doesn't count, but it does.
For kids and adults, by the way, because a lot of times adults avoid things because they try it one time and they go, I don't like this. I'm not good at this. No one's good when they start. Like very few people are good at something.
Having the right social interactions actually give you opportunity for growth. I've had a very weird career, but every inflection point in my entire career has come from a relationship, not a skill.
But when you do lose somebody and you're by yourself, you're in the car, you're driving back, you get the news, you've already gone to the funeral, you've already done all that stuff, and you're like, what could I have done? That's a weight you don't want to carry.
If you don't question the program, if you don't question your programming, you will repeat it. And what you've done for the last 5, 10, 20, 30 years, it will continue into your future. It will be your future if you do not wake up right now.
I just need people to not wait so long, to care about their futures, to not assume we're always going to be the way we were when we were in our 20s and 30s. Because the reality is, we will age like our mothers if we don't step in front of it.
You send people out in the world and to do the thing for real. You're worried about getting rejected. Go out and start asking people for help, and you'll learn that your fear is misplaced, that you get accepted more often than you might guess.
But how far you go down is determined by decisions you make right now. Absolutely. The decisions I make now will end me at 70, 80 years old in either the inability to walk or the ability to run. Yeah. And it's all about what I do now.
And I keep on asking myself this question for everything, what are the beliefs that you currently hold that have no grounding? What are the beliefs that you currently hold that can't be justified by any logical explanation? And doesn't necessarily mean that they're wrong, but you really need to pay attention to those.
I think there's many creative ways to position yourself for victory. I don't like the mindset of being worried, afraid, and staying there constantly instead of trying to find a way to be a differentiator.
Yeah, workout it should be a part of your personal hygiene. It is like the most powerful thing that you can do to improve the way you age and your mood and your brain function, everything. Like, there's nothing more powerful. You're never going to pill it up.
And when it comes to eating a burger, trust me, I want to eat a burger all the time. And I have to remind myself, but I know how it's going to feel after. And so it's almost like you've got to connect your brain to the after feeling.
Absolutely.
Because the after feeling is so much more what you have to live with, because the feeling before kind of comes and goes.
But right now, be in pain, be angry, be sad, be frustrated, be those things. Give yourself some grace and feel the feels. Because if you never feel the feels, they will show up at a time not of your choosing.
And I think it's
sitting with that question of like, what are you willing to be disliked for? What do you believe in so strongly that you're willing to embarrass yourself for it and feel like it's still worth it? It's not easy to find that thing, but I think when you do find that thing, that becomes kind of that North Star.
Every day you have to do this. Because why? When you stop doing it, you don't just maintain it. If you stop shooting a gun, you're not gonna be a great shot if you pick a gun up a year from now. The only way to keep from getting rusty is to constantly oil that motherfucking machine.
I keep Todd on because I feel guilty. Okay, we just at least understand that Todd is hurting your business and you would rather hurt the business than have the conversation with Todd.
Show me your priorities.
In the back of your mind, you know you're faking it, and you know that none of them really like the real you. And you get, at the end of the day, and I'm not saying this is you, but at the end of the day, you're lonely in a room of 150, 200 people because you know that none of them know you, and you haven't ever really been seen by anybody.
It's like this understanding that you've f***ed up and that you've committed to this ideology, you committed to this lifestyle, these choices that you make, this rigid pattern of behavior that is ultimately not serving you, and you realize the flaw in it, that you could have been something greater. And then you see someone who has done it, who's gotten better and is healthier, and you realize like, oh no, what have I done?
Normally we had to generate the missions. So you got to work for the missions. You got to look for the missions. You got to find the gaps. You got to find the opportunities. You got to look where people are struggling. Figure out who needs help. And then go into those areas, lean into those areas, get active. And eventually you'll find your mission and get it done.
Start off with 15 minutes, do a stress reset. It resets your shoulders, your hips, your back, your spine, your neck. Your whole nervous system gets reset in that first 15 minutes. If that works for you, do it again.
Yeah, the next day.
And if it works for you, do it again and again. And what we found is that when we add just that into everybody's routine, things change very fast.
And a consistent research finding is that you cannot just focus on conflict as a therapist. You have to work on friendship and intimacy, romance, passion, play, and fun. You have to work on all of that together. It's not enough to just make conflict better. You really have to bring, the two souls together in a way that it brings joy into the relationship.
Two things. First of all, be grateful for what you have. Because as bad as you got it right now, and let's face it, it gets pretty rough out here. But if you look at your situation, you compare it with other people in the world without basic food, without basic shelter, without health needs, not to mention being under the threat of real violence, like random bombs from the sky, or drones, or mortars, or artillery, just randomly hitting you. That's a pretty rough way to live.
The reason that you have certain big ideas and dreams in your head is because God put them there for a reason. God wouldn't put these big ideas, these big dreams, these big notions in your head that keep you up at night because you're so excited about this vision of what your life can look like if you weren't meant to achieve them.
I think you can shift your focus from, I just want these people's love, to I want to give them love. I want everyone to have a good time. I want to be up there just having a good time. They're having a good time. We all have a good time together. I make their lives feel better for a brief moment. I feel better. Everybody's better off.
And that's the shit, man. Yeah. That's what I crave.
So then you think, okay, let me go buy the thing that they have because it's going to make me feel like them and give me their life. But that's not how it works. Then you just have that thing but you don't have anything else. And you're actually in debt, which causes you a lot of financial stress. And it just adds to a life that's keeping you really small.
You don't get instant gratification from being like, I think you're wrong, and I know the business better than you do, and really I need to go do this other thing, but that's gonna take me 6 months to prove you wrong. It takes a lot of conviction and a lot of discipline to be able to do that.
When you have, whether it's an ego or there's a boastfulness,
there's a pedestal and a standard and that you have to live up to.
Yeah, true.
And who wants to do that? I don't. I would much rather boast in my failures and let God shine through of what he carries me through to do.
First time he said it to me, it hurt. So then you get off and then you realize you went from the cool guy to the boring guy to the guy that's pursuing a vision. But sometimes the biggest compliment people will ever give you is, I miss the old you. And that's actually a compliment.
Yeah.
It's not a negative thing. It's actually a compliment. It's a badge of honor because I don't miss the old guy. I love the new guy.
I'm a big, coming to terms with exactly what happened, exactly what the reality of the situation is. Not, oh, poor me, I was screwed in this event, or I was whatever. And it's like, yeah, some of that might have happened, but you still lost. It doesn't matter.
For every founder, there comes a point in building a company where your job shifts. From being the person inside your business, actioning everything, to the person responsible for absolutely everything. The only way I've been able to make this shift across the different companies and teams I'm responsible for is by knowing that the right systems are in place to manage everything. Systems that don't need me in order for them to work.
So I wanted structure, but I was just not willing to adhere to it.
Yeah.
Yes, I work for myself and I'm the worst employee. I would go smoke behind the dumpsters like I was hiding from myself.
Yeah.
What are we even doing?
And if they stepped over that paper, they wouldn't even, it's already done.
What does that mean?
That means if I gotta tell you to pick that paper up, you ain't on your A game.
Wow. I think you are a bit misguided and a little delusional if you don't accept the reality that this is here. This is not going away. So when somebody goes, use it to benefit you, learn, don't reject learning, and you boo, I think you're setting yourself up. It's not saying, oh my God, isn't it great that if this were to take all of everybody's jobs? But it's like, this is like getting mad about email. It's like, it's not going away, man. You can't.
If you can think for yourself and you can read through the BS, you're part of the community that can potentially hold this country together. You are more important than you know. If you don't fall for propaganda quickly, you are more important than you know. You are heroes.
I think the best advice anyone can give in that regard, is to figure out as quickly as possible what you're good at. That's the most important thing. What are you good at and what do you enjoy doing? And try to pursue that.
Yes, as I said to you, it's not what they say about me as a player, it's more what they say from me as a person that makes me very proud and very happy, because you can be a good player, and I'm gonna meet a lot of good players in the world of football, and you can train with a lot of them and meet them a lot. But I think that what it stays at the end is the way you behave as a person, and I like to see that I have the good values that my parents showed me.
And what I always say is, you don't want to learn martial arts because you want to go beat somebody up. You want to learn martial arts for two things. One, because you want to learn how to overcome incredibly difficult things. And in martial arts, you're going to encounter times where you want to quit, you're going to get your ass kicked, it's going to be difficult, and it's extremely difficult to get good at it. But two, if you do get into a situation, you want to be the one who gets to choose whether or not someone gets hurt.
There's two types of responses to that, right? One of the responses would be, I want that.
Yeah.
That's inspiring. The other response to it would be, that is a betrayal.
Mm-hmm.
That's a betrayal of the group. And the tighter the ideological group, or the tighter the identity around that particular group that person's come from, the more it feels like a betrayal. This is why tribalism is so dangerous, man. As soon as
There's a lot of people in mediocrity who have a nice resume, but they're one-timers, man. They hit a one-time deal, they busted it open, got a lot of money, but they're good. You're mediocre now, man. What are you doing today, tomorrow, the next day?
I read Relentless by Tim Grover, and it was basically the first book that I think gave me permission to use, called The Dark Side, to get things done. And I would say now, I don't necessarily operate 100% from that same perspective, but it was what I needed at the time.
You and I, we were born and preserved for such a time as this. And so when you look at your life, look at your goals and dreams, you have to ask the question, this is what I'm doing. What do I want to do with the time that I have left? A good man leaves a legacy for his children and his children's children.
You're spending 4 or 5 days of the week trying to do all the stuff you know you're not supposed to do, which then creates a bigger mountain and a bigger mountain and a bigger mountain and a bigger mountain. And eventually that mountain's so big that people look at it and they're like, fuck it, I can't fucking do it. Okay, and this all comes from your inability to overcome the very small decisions on a daily basis which challenge you. And something about John's teaching today really grabbed me to this concept all of us need to be talking about. And that is, what are we doing right now that will outlast our lifespan? What are we contributing right now?
Sometimes they're PhDs or MDs or researchers that have all of these qualifications. Sometimes they're just somebody that solved a problem in their life.
That's me.
Yeah. There's people that wake up in the morning. Anything good you do 99 things right, they could give a shit about the 99 things you do right. They just want to care about the one thing you do wrong. Set that community aside.
So the point is, it starts with these very basic things you don't want to do, but once you do them, you feel better about yourself, better in your body, better emotionally, more connected to yourself, more capable of connecting with other people.
They may have known them when they were first dating, knew that world, but people evolve and change. So who are they now? Asking questions draws that out.
You are not falling behind. You're exactly where you are. And the most radical thing you can do in a culture that keeps trying to convince you otherwise is to stop running. Look around and notice that the ground was always solid.
If you make a great product, keep making a great product, because everybody else is going to water their shit down, and you're going to end up with something that stands above everybody else's. Don't cut corners. Don't make it cheap. Don't fuck. Just do what you do and do it well, bro. People will pay for that.
Yeah, but if you're somebody that goes to work every day and says like, I don't want to be at this desk, I don't want to be in this cubicle, I don't want to be in this office, there's something out there that is more for me than this, then you already have the bug. Then it just becomes, do you die with the bug or do you do something about it before you die?
Because if you had to find the one, that means you were done the moment you found that person. And that mindset creates such a fracture with reality, which is, wait a minute, you're going to have to create and build, using your words, create and build every 5, 10, 15, 20 years. It's never going to stop.
And that requires discipline.
Because as you transform, your idea of what's possible will transform. As you transform your idea of what's great and good, you will transform. As you transform, your ability to love will transform.
I used to do something back when I was playing, in the 2000s, early 2000s, mid 2000s, around my sports goals. I would write like a certificate of accomplishment, and then I would sign it and date it of like, you have accomplished this, this, and this, signed by me. And I put it on my wall as a little visual representation that in a year or 6 months or 2 years, this is what I'm going to create. And it just reminded me, looking at it on my wall every single day, this is a certificate. Your future self has created this. Now you need to go and take the actions to make it happen.
Which is, if you're driven by the metric, then you will find ways to drive the metric. But if you're driven to create authenticity and to create value and offer people something, money is the unintended byproduct of being part of something larger than yourself.
Every time you work out, you're voting for the athlete in you, for the healthy person in you. Every time you move, every time you eat well, every time you don't eat poorly, you are making a vote for the person in you who says, health is my identity.
Each of us is on a journey. Be clear about your goals. Notice what works for you, because that's what you're doing. And each of us, see yourself as an experiment. Don't be frightened of experimenting, but if you're going to experiment, notice, measure something, and then you'll see how you're doing.
I think, having my phone number is a privilege, if you ask me. So if you violate that privilege with negative nonsense and I want to shut you out, I'm changing my phone number. I don't owe you my phone number, even if you work for me. I don't owe you access to me personally. So if you don't value the access and honor the access, well, then I'll just remove the access.
And I think something people miss too is like, if you're not working out regularly now, you're practically committing to being out of shape for the rest of your life, because it is something that you have to maintain daily.
And then the second reason is everything that I regret at the company, or whenever I regret something, it's not making a decision fast enough. It's not I made the wrong decision. What I've always regretted is sitting at the bottom of the stairs for too long, instead of jump up a stair and then I'll figure it out, and then jump up a stair and I'll figure it out, and then jump up a stair, I figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, you fall on your face so many times and very publicly. And so yeah, you need, the underlying belief in the business needs to be so strong that all of that feels worth it.
Like if I die and all that's on my gravestone is, here lies the fittest man on earth in 20 whatever, I'd be pretty disappointed with myself. I think I would look at that as more of a failure than not making it to the games one year or never making it to the games again.
That's not a bad thing. That means you have to be creative in a scenario. Not saying don't, you can come on anything else and go say whatever you want to go say. Right. But it's not a bad thing to have like some TV boundaries around you. Yeah. Because then it makes you come at stuff in different angles.
You might sign a super talented individual, and guess what? He has twins on the way now. He doesn't have time for the studio. He doesn't have time for the interviews, the podcast, the this, the that. Guess what? It's over for him. Unless he goes and proves otherwise. But you have to be totally dedicated to this.
But I don't think the answer is just like when they boo and go, I reject this. It's like, there's too much money behind it. It's already too capable for you to go, I just reject it. You have to learn it. You have to embrace learning about it.
When I talk to somebody who is giving me advice on life, okay, and here's what I think you should do with your six-pack, to get a six-pack. First thing I want to do is what? Pull up your shirt. Yeah, I'm not taking advice from you on six-pack, okay? Gotcha. Yeah, here's the advice on how to create wealth. Okay, show me how much money.
Because to some degree, you can read a philosophy and go, that's an interesting argument, that makes sense. But you're not going to read it and it sort of wash over you with this wave of conviction, I think, unless you've already got one foot in that worldview. And it's just somebody has finally put into words what you were thinking this whole time.
You know why? Because every time, I've spoke this with Diogo before, every time you come for preseason, it's like a new start. And you always get that belief of like, this is gonna be the time. This is gonna be the time. It's moments through the season that you get this belief if the things are not going well. But the main thing I have is belief in myself.
So there's an intensity there, but having so much pressure and so much at stake, when it goes away, it's definitely leaves a hollow, empty space inside.
And now I realize that this was all just a flaw in my own way of living and thinking, and I'm much more in line with what seems to be natural and healthy, and I'm growing and learning, and I'm more successful in that way than I ever would be just like showing diamond jewelry and big houses and all that stupid shit.
All I can. And in that sack of shit, you have to dive in that to find more. Because if you're not willing to go in there and face yourself, you're not gonna find anything. You're gonna live right here on surface, man, right here on surface.
Right, but like, to your point, poor people are surrounded by other poor people and then assume that that is everyone. Because it's everyone they know, not everyone that exists, but it's their everyone as far as they're concerned. And I think.
And when I grabbed that microphone and looked at those 80,000 people in the Georgia Dome, I began to command myself first so that I can command the audience.
No, discipline is fucking everything. It will decide whether or not you actually become what you want to become or not. It will dictate your physique. It will dictate your income. It will dictate your spouse. It will dictate your family. It will dictate every single thing in your life.
When your memories exceed your dream, your end is near. But when your dreams exceed your memories, you're a pioneer.
You impact a child's life. And I think every time, if I had that when I was 13, when I went into physical trauma, then what would my life be like today?
This is almost like a way that you can micro-release trauma on a daily basis so it doesn't become cumulative.
That's what happens.
But did you hear a decision? I didn't hear a decision. I heard somebody who wants to change. But I didn't hear a person who has made a decision to change. And it's a very subtle distinction. But this is the difference between staying stuck and spinning your wheels in a mental loop and getting yourself unstuck and breaking free and making a decision to create a whole new chapter in your life.
In the silence, when there's nothing distracting you, the things you've been running from start to surface. The grief, the dissatisfaction, the questions you don't want to answer about your life. That's not a reason to avoid rest. That's a reason to rest more. Because those things are still there whether you face them or not. And the cost of not facing them is paying for it in your body, in your relationships, in your slowly disappearing sense of self.
I am built to become, and I am built to progress down the pipe. And I'm a f***ing warrior at it. And if a warrior doesn't have a war, they don't have a purpose. And if you don't have a purpose, you're gonna lose and you're gonna be miserable your entire life.
That's right. And that's the issue, is we focus on the exception, not the norm, right? Like Mark Zuckerberg dropped out of college, started Facebook, and he famously said, young people are just smarter. He said that when he was 22. You don't hear him saying that anymore, surprisingly, right? So I think it's not too late for you to take risks.
I'm gonna take it one step further. If you tell someone to be themselves and they don't like themselves, it's cruel. And this was me for a long time. How can you be yourself if you don't like yourself?
I think it's important to realize that the dopamine that you feel when you look into someone's eyes, like the endorphins, the touch, like holding hands, like these are important feelings and they're important things for humans. And so we should try to take time to have relationships in real life and do things with people and put our phones away. And enjoy the time with them.
Like, look, man, think of your time in your day as a numerical unit. Like you have 100 units of time, 100 units of energy. If you're putting 30 of those units on some bullshit online, you're robbing yourself of that time that you could be putting into things you love, your friendship, your comedy act, your life. You don't need to do that. Right. Like, it's a trap.
It's like I can come to my wife and say, hey, when you said that, like, I got pretty upset. Let's talk about, why that happened. Mm-hmm. I'd appreciate it if you didn't do that again. Versus like, appreciate it if you didn't do that again. Yeah. Versus like, you made me angry. You're such a bitch, blah, 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 right? It's like what's subcommunicated in that latter accusation is that my anger is your responsibility.
So, while it sucks that kind of, you have to have a short-term memory when it comes to those things. It's done, it's in the past. What are you doing tomorrow?
It's whatever feels, who gives me that fulfilling vibe. It's not about, who produced it. It's not about who's on it. What do I play? And I stand up and I jump up right then. That's what we keep.
Yeah, that's also a tricky one where you're like, I've seen you do this for 15 years, and it's the same. So they're like, I'm getting up all the time. You're like, you're not doing anything else, though. Like, you're not evolving. You're not changing. You're not trying things.
Yeah. If you go in history and you see revolutionary talk, killing this guy, killing that guy, you better get a hold of your kid very, very quickly, or else these types of folks are having influence over your kids. And you don't want this thing to, it'll never happen to my kid. It'll never happen to my kid. Nobody knows something's going to happen until it's too late. Tom,
if you're worried about it, also just realize that you're not alone. This is like the foundational question of human existence. I think it's weird not to be worried about it. It's sort of strange to me that people aren't talking about it all the time.
Even if it was just a small thing or a small detail, you still have something more to do. You still have something more that you can improve or become better. And that's something that has stuck with me, not just in football, but in life.
There is a spectrum of human beings.
And you're on this extreme edge of exactly what you want when you have an army. If you put together a military force, you want a guy like you that has that attitude. You don't want a guy who's going to the worst place in the world and saying, why me? I think that capitalism is a game. And whenever you're going to have a game, you're going to have people that are like weekend players that go out there and put a little bit of effort into, and they're kind of okay at basketball. And then you're going to have Michael Jordan. And you don't get a Michael Jordan without massive amounts of effort and time. And that's the same thing with capitalism. If it's a game, if we're all agreeing, like even if you're a waiter, right? You're waiting on tables, you do a good job, they give you tips.
I'm learning that we have to separate the puppet show of politics from the financial reality that is based on objective and empirical evidence, because the one only sometimes is aligned with the other.
When I've met the threshold that is satisfactory or should be satisfactory in order for me to make this decision, I make it, is not the same as I make a decision before I have sufficient information in order to be able to make it.
It's an information question, not a time question.
Yeah.
I'm suggesting, I ran. You got to do what you can where you are with what you have. I didn't have any money. I didn't know anything about the political process. I didn't even have any support. But here's what the guy told me. It's possible you could win. That's all I had.
You need to develop a little bit of you, okay? And what I mean by that is, oh, that's a test. That's a test. This isn't gonna fucking break me. This fucking beer doesn't have any power over me. This fucking pizza doesn't have any power over me. Fuck that shit. I'm stronger than that. That's what I mean by fuck you.
Am I daily adding value to myself so that when I get an opportunity, I have something to add? Too many people want to add value with yesterday's bread, and it's stale.
You take a look at somebody who spent 5 years studying about medicine, but he's never done a surgery,
right?
But he knows everything about it. Or you have somebody who's done 10,000 surgeries, but which one do you want to work with you?
Right.
It's about becoming someone who's a writer. It's about acting as if you're a writer now, even if you never publish a book. Because every day that you just sit down and write, even for 15 minutes, what are you? You're a writer. That action proves the identity of being a writer to yourself.
If you've just gone through a breakup, this is what your brain is doing. It has cut a 3-minute trailer for a 2-year relationship, and you have watched that trailer so many times that you've started to believe the trailer is the relationship.
Not only is it bullshit, you're failing to acknowledge the gift that you were given to learn how to fight and overcome that other people will never have. So you need to pull your fucking head right out of your ass and understand that if you come from nothing and you don't have anything, you're actually equipped to do much better than the person that was gifted everything.
It is weird, but I still just think when something is too big, it's like too big to fail. If you just approach it with "I reject," you're setting yourself up for a bigger failure.
Well,
we know that's not why they did it, but their left brain has convinced them that that is why they did it. Now, the reason I'm talking about all of this is because this has given rise to the idea that the left brain is the so-called interpreter. That the right brain kind of intuitively does stuff, and then the left brain, retrospectively, sort of rationalizes and justifies that behavior.
If I say good morning to these ones, I say good morning to these ones. I don't change that. If I give a handshake to these ones, I give a handshake to this one. If I greet them as I'm greeting my teammates, they will feel part of it. They will feel involved. They will feel as important as them.
I think people are always looking for the easiest way out, and going in is a hard decision to make. It's a very hard decision to make, and it's a very unpopular decision. And it would be the short-term pain that everyone's afraid of.
And if your group that you associate with is saying, don't associate with the opposite sex, give up on them, don't have a loving, happy relationship, that's just because they don't think it's attainable to them.
Dude.
That's the same thing as saying you should never have a nice car because I can't get one. You should never have a nice house because I can't afford one. It's no different.
So you got to strategize on each problem you have in life. Slowly break down that problem. Don't think about all the problems you have, just one at a time. And before you know it, you fix all these problems, but you cannot focus on all of them. Just on the one thing at a time.
Are you progressing or are you ruminating? I think a clear issue with rumination or overthinking is when 3 things. 1, most of your thoughts aren't new. They're repetitive. They're cycling. 2, most of your thoughts aren't useful. They're not looking at ways you might fix this problem. They're just replaying a certain scenario again and again and again. And 3, the most important thought, is that most of them aren't even true. Most of our thoughts that we think aren't even true.
I can have my dream. I can get what I want. I must be creative and never give up.
You are running out of time. That's a real thing. You know, oh, I don't like hustle culture because of urgency. Okay, well then don't listen to it and just go live your life. This ain't for everybody. It's not for everybody. Winning and greatness and building shit and becoming who the f you're supposed to be, it's rare.
But I learned that I listened to check it off the list so I could hurry up and lead. And I figured out that most of the time when I'm listening to somebody that should be following my direction, I wasn't listening to learn, I was listening to direct.
You have to stop waiting to feel ready. You have to stop waiting for motivation. You have to stop waiting for confidence and courage. This is the trap of hesitation. And you will be in this trap until you get moving.
Stop hating yourself for not getting over your ex. You're not weak because this is so hard. You're not pathetic because you can't stop thinking about them. You're a person who formed a deep attachment that is connected to something much larger and older and more foundational than this one relationship.
You can convince yourself all you want. You could say, oh, it's not that bad. It's that. That's you negotiating with yourself. That's you telling yourself lies. And that is the exact reason why people who are ahead on the food chain don't want to work with you, because you believe your own lies.
And I think educating yourself is still the best route for now. Like not viewing it as something that I'm not gonna learn anything about.
It can help you, like you can do businesses with it. So you could have it set up things for you, and you could have it run businesses for you. And if you're like really focused, you could actually probably profit immensely off AI as it stands right now.
But you have to recognize that that's what you're doing, such that afterwards, if it goes really well, you go, great, oh cool, fun, I won. But it's like if you win a chess match or something, you're like, oh, sweet, cool. Anyway, like let's play again sometime, you know, and you might lose next time. That's the attitude you have to have.
So my parents never spoke, my brother never spoke, my sister never spoke when I wasn't playing. Let people make noise, let people talk. Doesn't matter what they say. I know for my mom, for example, she suffers a lot with this, and I say, take it in, don't care,